Hey, good afternoon, YouTube. I have discovered the epiphany of a winemaker's dream. I have discovered the Blackberry capital of the world. Be right back. Just a couple of months ago, I was out riding around. It was a nice, pretty spring day. And I looked out across this field and all I could see was white blooms. And I was just mystified by how beautiful it was. And I got to looking and I said, oh, look. And it's just these big clusters. Look, big, just coated with blackberry blooms. Well, I came back 2 weeks ago and they were all green. And they were tiny, tiny berries. And I was worried. I was like, man, well, they're going to be small. They ain't going to be worth a hoot. But I want you to look at those blackberries. Look at them. Look at them. I picked a gallon and a half yesterday in like an hour and a half. I'm gonna pick another, I don't know how many today. I brought this board with me to help me get into the interior of this pile. This pile is huge, look, just look. If you're gonna do any kind of juicing, tomato juice, berry juice, anything that's got tiny seeds in it, you need one of these food meals. This is the ticket right here. It squishes your fruit, gets rid of the seeds, and leaves you with a pure juice. It's a strainer with a masher on it. You'll see. Check this out. I bought this one at a garage sale, I think for $12, $10, $11. I can't remember. Just that quick, you put it together. It's easy to clean. It's all stainless steel. I think you can still get them on Amazon. I'm not sure. If not, I know you can go on eBay and get you one. And here I'm gonna start my wine making process. I got a clean and sterilized 5-gallon bucket. I've got a pillowcase that I bought years ago just for this, for making wine. It's, it's well, it's cheaper than a wine sock, and does just as good a job. You just have to be careful with it that you don't let it fill up your carboy, your little vent, whenever you vent it off. I've sped this up so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch. This is just one bucket of berries that I had that you're gonna watch me mash. I did about about three and a quarter gallons of berries. And after they mash down, they turn into about a quarter of a bucket full. And I almost messed up whenever I was doing this. I, I'll show you. when when you're preparing your water, you want to heat your water up to where it's warm enough to allow your sugar to dissolve. Dissolve your sugar in your water, and then set it on the counter and let it cool down to room temperature before adding your water to your berries and your yeast and all that stuff, because it will cause your yeast not to bloom. Now, you see here, this is where I messed up. I filled this up too full. I did not allow myself enough head space. I should have allowed myself at least 4 inches of head space, and I didn't. And it created created a an overflow whenever whenever I the next morning when I woke up, I had an overflow. I had a little small mess, and it creates a lot of pressure whenever yeast starts blooming and starts cooking off those gases and eating that sugar up. It creates a lot of gas, so it does. And here you see me stir the yeast in, and like I said, it will create a mess if you mess up. You want to make sure that whenever you put your hose on your lid, you want to have you want to start with a fresh seal. This time I was working with, I did not have a hot glue gun, was not able to use a hot glue gun, and so I had to go with what I had from the last time I made wine, and it was just a little bit brittle and it had some leaks in it, so I had to go in and seal my leaks to get it to cook right, and to vent properly. That way I wouldn't have any leakage or anything like that. And I did have leakage, and I'll show you in just a few minutes. Luckily, my shower is fixing to be redone, so it's fixing to get a remodel in my shower. So I wasn't worried about the tile in there. Blackberries stain everything. Everything. Blackberries will stain. It don't matter what it is, it will stain it. And so you'll see in just a few minutes that where I cleaned up the mess that it made on top of the deal. I just run it down the shower, and I couldn't get in there really to do any scrubbing. I probably would have been fine with just some bleach and scrubbing, but I ain't worried about it. All that tile in my shower is coming out in the next month or so, so I'm not worried about it. I will take a little bit better precaution after I get my new shower made. Yes, sir, I certainly will. Yes. See, this is my lid. I've got a 7/16 hole drilled right in the center of it, and had a half-inch clear hose inserted into it. And then I took hot glue and I sealed it all the way around and made a really good heavy seal so it won't push off of it as that gas starts pushing. You don't want it to push your hose out. You don't want any leaks around there. You want it sealed off. That way all of your gas escapes out your hose, and you don't have any leaks, because it will form leaks for juice. And whenever you get your juice, if you get juice up on top of your lid, then ants and other bugs can find it, and they can make a mess of your wine. Once you get to this point in your wine making process, you want to place your wine in a room where the temperature stays constant, somewhere around 68 to 75 degrees will be fine. Just keep it in a cool room. See how my initial push went all the way through and filled up my jug, and I had to change my jug. It had the whole top of my 5-gallon bucket covered in berry juice and everything else. I had a mess. And I got it on the walls of the shower and stuff. So you want to have it in a room that you can clean. And that's the reason I've got it up inside this shower. I haven't used this shower in years except for fermentation. And it's time for me to remodel this now. And so I'm going to remodel this, and I'll set myself up with a nice fermentation room. In about 6 weeks, this will quit burping. And whenever it quits burping, you'll take and rack your wine off into a carboy, a glass carboy or a plastic carboy. I use plastic, and vent it off and allow it to go, and shake it and allow it to go through this process again. So after that second push, you want to rack your wine every 6 weeks until you get a clear product. And about the first year, you want to, at that point right there, when it becomes a year old and it's been racked off 4, 5, 6 times, 8 times, you got a good clear wine, and it's okay to bottle it. And you can drink it. I like to let it age a year or so and then drink it. I've got some that's 10 years old, and it's fine wine.